Okay, I am going to give you a tour of our new Visible Body app for anatomy and physiology. So this is the screen you'll get when you first enter the app. On the far left here you'll see course topics. This will be mainly where you navigate from. One over, you'll have quizzes. If you want to get straight into a quiz, that's where you'll go. And contact us and help you won't really need to do. So pretty much all the time you're going to be going right through course topics. So let's go ahead and click that. And it brings us to this home page. There's two ways you can get around this app. You can either scroll through the top here and it has all of our units, or you can click select unit and it gives you a drop down menu of all the units. So whichever way you choose. I'm going to go ahead and click muscular system because that's the unit we'll be starting. It will take me to that section. So as you can see, chapter 13, 14, 15, and 16 of this app all deal with the muscular system. Within each chapter, you can swipe to see more subsections. 13 ends at 13.7, but if you go down to 16 is much longer. It divides it into these thumbnail views so that you can easily navigate. Say you get halfway through chapter 16 and you don't want to have to scroll through the whole thing. It gives you a nice place to start from. Okay, so now let's do a little bit of practice navigating within one of the chapters. So some of them you can see have a little video icon like a play button. That means that that section is going to be a video. So let's go ahead and look at a video. A video will give you some little information here on the left, and this is basically a script of what they're going to say in the video. So you go ahead and click play and it'll bring it full screen. Make sure your sound's on.
The human body's weight is from hundreds of muscles that are responsible for moving structures and internal organs. Muscle tissue throughout
And you've got your controls down here just like any regular video. So I'm going to pause it and we're going to click done. Let's assume I watched that whole video and I'm ready for the next section. I'm going to click next and it will take me to 13.2, muscle types. Let's practice navigating around the figure that's on your screen, because most of the functionality of this app comes from being able to manipulate this on-screen body and dissect it. So, first of all, if you want to move it up or down, take 3 fingers and you can slide the whole body up or down. Now if you try to do that with 2, it doesn't do anything. You need to take 3 fingers or more and slide it to move basically your point of view, like raise or lower the camera. Now if you just use 1 finger and you grab any point on the body, it will rotate it from that point. So I grabbed him about in the middle of the sternum. It'll rotate him from there. Now let's practice using 3 versus 1 finger. So let's say I'm all the way down here and I need to look at his throat. If I use 1 finger, I can tilt him forward, but I don't get a straight-on view of the throat. So I need to put him back straight, use 3 fingers to bring him down, and then I can tilt it in the plane to get the view I want. When I'm at the view I want, I use my regular pinching motion to zoom in, and then, well, the upper part of his throat has disappeared again, so I'm going to use my 3 fingers to bring it down. Okay, and then we zoom in into the part we want. You can still rotate and manipulate from there. So this app pretty much is a whole 4-dimensional image. Alright, so from there, another really cool thing is you can click on an individual piece, and it can be as tiny as one of these bands we see, and it will highlight it blue. Now, the pieces you highlight don't always have to do with the system you're learning about. So for example, let's go to something we already did. So I'm going to highlight a tooth. So it says I've highlighted the incisor central, and that's right up here, the name of it. And if you want to hear them pronounce it, right next to the name you can click the speaker,
incisor,
and you can listen to her pronunciation of it instead of my struggling attempt to get it right. If you really want more information on that particular organ or part you're looking at, or it's a thing where I've asked you to read the detailed information, you're going to click that book icon right there next to the speaker. When you click that, it'll pull up a little blurb down here that gives you some more information on the incisor. You never knew there'd be so much information on one tooth. Okay, so we're learning about muscle, so let's go click on a muscle. So you can easily get off topic here. Alright, we click on this muscle and wonder what this is. Ooh, I can't pronounce that, so let's try pushing the pronounce button.
Sternohyoid.
Sternohyoid, so that's the sternohyoid muscle. Okay, what the heck is that? Well, I push my book, it pulls up a little text down here, and for a muscle it's going to tell you basically where it is. Okay, it's grouped with the muscles of swallowing. Origin, meaning where does it originate from. Insertion, innervation, action, that's the important one, action. Depresses the hyoid and larynx. And blood supply comes from the superior thyroid artery. Okay, so now I know more than I'll ever need to know about that particular muscle. Now, the sections will guide you through what you need to be looking at. So you don't need to go through and tap on every single muscle unless you're just wanting to explore. So if we reset our view here, you can do that just by clicking one of these side menu options. So we're in 13.2, which is the second section of this chapter. It's going to take us to skeletal muscles, smooth muscles, and cardiac muscles. The app will highlight that whole range for you. So it says skeletal muscle. I click that, it highlights all this blue. If you want to read about it, you can pull up a subtext down there. But when I click skeletal muscle over here, it highlighted all the skeletal muscle on his body. So you can rotate him around and look at all the different skeletal muscles. Everything that's blue is a skeletal muscle. If you zoom in, you'll notice that not everything is blue, because muscles on the inside and some other places are different kinds. So let's look at the other two types. We have smooth muscle, so we'll click that, and now it's going to, let's zoom out, highlight a whole different set of muscles. So I just would like to get rid of these words for a minute because I want to see the lower part. So let's go back up and click our book to minimize those words, and they'll go away. And we want to pull them back up, just click it again and it'll open them. I'm usually going to have you guys read those, but sometimes not. Sometimes they just talk about something you don't really need to know about. Okay, so we can rotate them around, say, oh, my blue disappeared, click smooth muscle, and it'll bring it back for me. So there's your smooth muscle. You can also do some cool things within a view like fade, hide others, fade others. So let's try a couple of these functions. Let's say I fade others. So that means it's going to fade everything except what I have highlighted blue. Okay, so now it makes it a little bit easier to see kind of what we're looking at because it faded the other parts of the body. Now if I click hide others, it will completely hide those from sight and just show the blue part that I have selected, which gives you kind of a weird view sometimes depending on what you have selected. Right now what you're looking at is all the smooth muscle in the body. So if you were to take all the other tissue out and just leave smooth muscle, this is what a human would look like. So let's bring it back. Refresh view is always how you reset your view, and you might have to do that a lot. I get myself kind of confused in here. Okay, cardiac muscle. We'll go click that, and it'll zoom in on your heart. So let's minimize this for now. I would like you to read that in this particular example. You're going to read about the myocardium, but for now, let's minimize it so we can see the whole heart. And before we even get into it, we can just kind of explore the heart on our own. So what's that I've just highlighted? Oh, let's see, pronunciation?
Sternocostal surface of the heart.
The sternocostal surface of the heart. So that pronunciation up there is going to come in really handy. You can just navigate around, click different things, zoom in, rotate. You get the picture. Okay, so really all you would have had to do in that section was click through the 3 types of muscles and look at where they were each located. I just gave you a little bit deeper tour. So let's click next to go to 13.3. Alright, here we have a slide that you can't interact with quite as much. It's more of a diagram. It's explaining to you the different kinds of muscle. Smooth, cardiac, and skeletal. So if you look, this diagram, we can't interact with it. You can't rotate it. That's because that's a two-dimensional diagram. Think of it like an image in a textbook. For this kind of diagram, all you can do is look at it and read the text over here to the left. So say you've done that, navigate through. Let's look for something we haven't seen before. So this is just like the other one where you can manipulate it and you click, like I just clicked skeleton and it highlighted the skeleton. I just click skeletal muscle, it'll highlight skeletal muscle. So we know how to navigate that. Let's go to a different one. This one has given us a cutaway view of the heart. Now remember, we couldn't see that earlier. We just saw the outside, so you have to know which slide to go to if you want a cutaway. Now we have this view of the heart. If I want to say, look at one of the valves, you can zoom in and actually look at the individual parts of the valves of the heart, which is really cool. Let's say you had a quiz question that asked you to select an artery that supplied the myocardium. So you'll learn the myocardium is the muscle part of the heart, basically, that is responsible for pumping. So I want one artery that is supplying blood there. I can click on a single artery.
Anterior artery of right ventricle.
And I can click more information. And all this right here is now going to talk about that artery. Where it comes from, what it supplies, more than you ever need to know about it. So when you get to the end of a chapter, you'll see something down here in the lower window. You have reached the end of this chapter, and it'll give you the option to either record your progress, which kind of bookmarks your place, which can be useful if, say, the bell rings, or next chapter. So there's no quiz with this chapter. So